Good morning, everyone. Scott Maybor here with your Medicare Missive for Monday, the 29th of September. Hope you are all doing well. Let's see. Hope you had a nice weekend. I am getting a barrage of calls and emails and texts from clients saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? I got a termination letter. So I wanted to talk briefly about a termination letter, how they differ from the ANOCs, and what you need to do. Again, I've mentioned this before, Medicare has the strange rule that I can't talk to you about 2026 plans or next year's plans until October 1st. However, the carriers send out their letters in anticipation of October 1st in mid-September. So you have a letter that says, here are the changes. If you're getting an ANOC, here are your changes. And your first reaction, of course, call the guy who is your Medicare person and let's discuss my options. I can't. Can discuss your letter, but I can't discuss anything further. If you have a cancellation letter, so an ANOC, an annual notice of change from the carrier, means that the plan is continuing, you will be rolled over, but there are changes. You're required to have that every year. There are changes. You may be losing some dental. You may be picking up a gym membership. Your co-pays are changing. Your drug formulary changes. All of those things are going to be listed in the ANOC. You don't have to read the whole thing. Read what's changing. And if it says, dental went from $1,500 to $500, something to consider. A lot of plans are dropping dental entirely, and this is on the Advantage plan side. If you have an ANOC, you may be being walked, they call it, to another plan. That's if the plan number isn't changing, but the name is changing. You're being walked by the carrier from your current plan, which could be called, Scott, to this new plan called Steve. It's not the identical plan, but it's close enough that the number with CMS, and if you look at the plans next to the name, there's a number, and I believe it's maybe it's usually starts with an H. There's 4 digits, then there's a hyphen, and then there's 3 more. You're being walked to the other one, to the new plan. May not want to be on it, but that's something we can discuss. The last notice it comes from the carrier technically, but it's on CMS letterhead. It is a form letter that the carrier is required to send out if your plan no longer exists. So your plan may exist, but it's changed so much and the numbers changed, it's considered a whole new plan. Or your plan or the carrier may be just leaving the county or the state you're in. In that case, you get a termination letter or term letter. You will not be rolled over to anything. As of December 31st, you have A and B Medicare and nothing else. If this is in the case, if you have a supplement, doesn't impact the supplement, but your drug plan will be terminated as of December 31st. So in the case of a termination, you need to pick a new plan. Problem is, and I just got a text from somebody that she's very confused, and the Medicare and You book is very confusing. She has a plan that will not exist next year. I can't talk to her until Wednesday. I can talk to her about the fact that she's lost her plan, but I can't talk to her about new plans. So be aware of that. Obviously, Wednesday is going to be an important day. It's the start of open enrollment, unofficial start, but it's the day when people like me can talk about 2026 coverage with their clients, and the websites will update to show the 2026 plans, because right now the software I use is still only showing 2025 plans. So I can't even pull up a complete list. Can't do it on the government's website either. So be aware of that. Pay attention to your mail. If you have a cancellation, you technically have a 60-day window beyond open enrollment. So open enrollment or annual enrollment runs from the 15th of October to December 7th. But if you have a termination letter, you actually have 60 days from the time the plan terminates, which is December 31st. So you actually have the entire month of January and February. However, if you apply in January for a February 1st start date, you're going 30 days without the coverage. It may be okay, it may not be. That's something to discuss. Obviously, in most cases, you want to avoid that. So be aware of that. Yes, you have and one other very, very important thought. If you are on an Advantage plan and you get a termination letter, that gives you the right to buy a supplement with no underwriting. And I'm probably going to do a separate video on this, but gives you the right to buy a supplement with no medical underwriting. So if you bought an Advantage plan when you were 65 and you were healthy and everything's been great, but over the years your health has declined and a supplement makes more sense, this is your opportunity. But you couldn't switch because in most states, the one I'm in, Massachusetts, is an exclusion, but or is an exception to this rule. But most states you have underwriting. So I don't remember the number. I want to say 42 states, 43 states have underwriting. So if your health has declined, you may simply not be able to switch from an Advantage plan to a supplement because you can't get through the health questions. If your plan is terminated, you have the right to switch to a supplement with no underwriting. So I can't emphasize this enough. If you are not healthy, or you've gotten a few years older and you think, you know something, supplement's going to make sense in the future, this may be your only opportunity, short of moving, because if you move, you get another opportunity to switch. But short of moving out of your state, this may be your only opportunity to switch plans with no medical underwriting. No health questions, guaranteed acceptance, everyone gets it. Let me know how I can help. I'm happy to talk to you about how I work and my review process, and we can go from there. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching. Be well.